Alright, that's much better. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about this bad Larry. This is I don't know how else to say it. It's an important guitar in my world right now. It represents a few things that any guitar could represent. It just so happened to be a extremely affordable Les Paul style guitar. This is the what is now known as the Melody Maker E1, I believe now, Epiphone E1. When I got it, it was called the SL, as stated here on the truss rod cover. It is technically a Les Paul. It says it right there, and it is by our friends over C's from Epiphone. I first heard about these through Ryan's 60 Cycle Hum. When they first came out, they were $99. $99. And Ryan had still has a whole playlist on them. All the way from seeing them at NAMM to receiving one and opening it up on camera and, you know, tweaking with it, pulling it apart. He even used it to test cases, and then he eventually threw it off a bridge, put it back together, and put a different neck on it. that poor guitar is... You're going to have to excuse me. My allergies are acting up pretty bad today. I got mine about 2 years ago on Father's Day. And by the time I got mine, it was... I think they were 120. 120 shipped from Sweetwater. And I don't know if I said this already, but it originally came with 2 single coils. Very low output, very tall. At first I thought they were going to be like a stacked humbucker, but no, they were single coils to the max. The layout is exactly how you see it. 1 volume, 1 tone, 3-way switch, and your input jack here in the face. The single coils I had, I kind of wish I'd kept them and put them in the Harmony guitar. Big regret. They sounded pretty cool. They had their own thing going on. They did sound like a single coil, but it had kind of a telly vibe. It's hard to describe. It's hard to describe. Go watch someone play one of these things stock. When the guitar was in the middle position, man, did it sing. Those 2 pickups just together worked great, and I would love to put them in my Harmony. Regardless, what we have here are a couple of mini humbuckers. They look more fancier than they really are. I don't think they were $12. My buddy Alex bought them. I ended up with 2 pairs of these by accident. At the low price, we thought it was just the cost of 1 pickup, and 4 showed up. I guess the $12 was for the full set. They are Alnico 5 magnets, supposedly, according to the ad. And they're toaster style, in appearance. Made to resemble the Rickenbacker kind of vibe. I've just always liked mini humbuckers. They just got this little spank to them, while still maintaining that throatiness of a humbucker, wraparound bridge, as you can see here. This is the stock Epiphone one. I do plan on upgrading this. Guitar Fetish has a really rad, giant brass, solid looking son of a gun that I would really like to put in here. I want to raise the pickups. Here's one of the things that everyone's been complaining about with these things. And you're not even going to really be able to see it too well here, but the way it's constructed and the angle of the neck and everything, the pickups just don't make it to the strings well. I mean, obviously the neck one will, but because of that, and maybe because of the pickups themselves. Now, we're going to talk as if the single coils were still in here. The bridge had a dramatic drop in volume compared to the neck. And that, I mean, that would make sense at, their proximity to the damn strings. So I think what I'm going to do is, because of the ring here, I'm probably just going to make a riser for them. Bring them up a little closer, at least the bridge, at the very least. A lot of other people have been putting more wood in here and stuff. You don't really need to do that. I did have to modify the pickguard, obviously, to accept these. And mostly the reason I kept the rings is, one, for an aesthetic, but to kind of hide the butchery that is underneath the crowns. The tuners are stock. And I've tuned it 3 times during this. A lot of the tuning issues actually come back down to here, and thank God the bridge I'm thinking about putting on has individual intonatable saddles, and that's really the biggest downfall to these bridges. Even though I have the Lightning one with the different stagger, they just, I don't know, they're just a pain in the butt to get right. I mean, don't get me wrong, if I had a chance to have that Les Paul Jr. back, that late 50s one, I wouldn't complain. But there's a feel to this, and I talk about vibe and feel all the time because to me that's important. But there's definitely a vibe and a feel to playing with one of these versus, say, a Tune-O-Matic and a stop tail. Let's turn the overdrive off. Slap her up into my neck position. Now we're going back to the humbuckers. We're not going to talk about the single coils anymore. Now, the one thing Ryan concluded with, that was kind of cool, is that it wasn't a fun guitar to play. And I'm not going to doubt that his wasn't fun. Mine, luckily enough, is. I'm not going to sit here and say it's a great guitar. It plays very well. Once I replace the nut, which they call it a synthetic bone, which whenever you see that, it's just another word for plastic. So don't think you get anything too fancy. And, you know, of course, once I replace this and raise the pickups a little bit, this will be a much better playing guitar. But as it stands right now, I couldn't be happier. I mean, it does what it's supposed to do. It feels great. It inspires me to play. It sounds pretty rad. So let's go in the middle position. Still, I wouldn't call it clean. I do have the gain on a little bit on the amp, but I don't have my drive pedal on, so the tubes are going to break up a little bit, and that's fine. And the bridge. I was going to try to tail it off with that, but my fingers got all slippity slappity. I don't know if I'm going to do much more to this guitar aside from just elevate the pickups, change out the tuners and the nut in the bridge, which is pretty much, I guess, everything, really. I've already done the electronics. This is a wiring harness. I think I talked about it already, that I bought for another project. I'll leave it at that in case I did talk about it already. Nothing on the back. Nothing on the back. I'm surprised that the camera's actually picking up the color pretty well. There we go. That's more close to what I'm seeing here in person. You know, and it's funny, some of the things that catch your attention. When I fall in love with the idea of owning a specific instrument, it was this finish mixed with these cheap knobs. there's a color to the characters here, the letters and numbers, that gives it kind of a rustic, old wood cabin vibe. I know you're going to think I'm weird. But they're almost brown. See, now they're going to look gold in this, but they get kind of a brown aesthetic that kind of goes with this, and that's the only reason I've never changed them. But for some reason, that was the feel. That's what triggered me getting one of these. And I got it for Father's Day 2 years ago. I paid partially for it. I think I tossed in the first half, maybe a little bit more. I don't know. I don't remember. No, my lady paid the $100 and I paid the balance. Because when we were originally talking about it, I thought it was still $99. That's what it was. So, regardless, I'm happy with the thing. I'm actually thinking about picking up another one to modify in a very unique way. There's a guitar out there that has spoken to my soul, and I will own one. But I want to mimic that guitar using one of these, because I think it would be perfect for it, because I have to add a little bit of wood to the top. And believe me, there's plenty of room to do that with this neck and, again, the setup. But once I do that, I could probably get rid of a lot of this stuff. So we'll see. We'll see. But the body itself is light enough. The body itself is light enough. So I think it's going to lend. And hopefully, if I do buy another one, it'll feel and play just like this one and resonate. Because this one, when it's just by itself, it resonates. Like, I feel this whole thing vibrating. It's wonderful. I know what you're saying. Well, guitars all vibrate. Some of them a little more than others, you know. You put this in the middle. Take down the tone a little bit, the volume. Keep it at a manageable level. I honestly think the middle position with some gain has kind of a bassy throatiness to it. Great guitar. I have so much fun playing this thing. It feels great, but it's definitely its own thing. It's real thin. I think that's what the SL actually stood for. Slim, light. I think that's what it stood for. I don't remember. Because when they were first trying to conceive these, I think they were going to call them the Olympus or something like that. Because there were some early previews of it with that badging on the truss rod cover. The other thing I want to say about this is, if these were still $99, I'd buy these all day long just for the neck. You can say whatever you want about Epiphone. It's just something about the way they made this neck. It just feels great. It's definitely a species of mahogany. The fretboard is probably laurel, the tiniest, thinnest little, because they painted a binding around the edges here. So I'm almost willing to bet that this fingerboard's not full thickness, but that's okay. In that case, it's probably a real piece of rosewood, because it doesn't look like laurel to me, but I'm just going to call it laurel because that's probably what it actually is. So there you go. That is my Epiphone SL. Never stays in tune. Actually, that's not true. That's not true. I did just redo the strings, so that's why we're talking about it today. And I might not have stretched this properly. But there is always something going on down here, and it's most certainly got to do with an intonation thing, which I don't plan to play with. I'm going to get a different bridge. So that's it. So let me know in the comments what you think about the SL. Maybe not necessarily this one, but in general, you know. I know a lot of people snob to them, you know, under $200 guitar now. I think they're $150 now. That's about where I would stop. But if you want a modding platform, get your ass one of these. These are great. For that nice 50s thick neck. $99. If they were still $99, I'd buy these all day long just for the neck. But guys, yeah, let me know down in the comments if you have one. Do you enjoy it? Did you get rid of it? Did you break it? And if you did, can I have it? Can I have it? I want to do something to it. But either way, go ahead and leave your feedback. Thumbs up, thumbs down, all feedback to the Creepers Positive. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. I would really appreciate that more than anything right now. And I hope wherever you are, you're doing well. And until next time, take care, creep it real, and bye-bye. Now, if you excuse me, I got some tasty cheese to go get into.